Yeah.
have things we can talk about while we're waiting for people to join in.
Okay. I have a thing to talk about as well.
Oh my god, somebody's making snow ducklings. It's so cute.
Snow ducklings?
I got distracted by Twitter.
Oh no. No, Moon, come back to us.
I am retweeting it right now, and then I'll turn it away.
It's too cute.
I did love I don't know if you saw the one where a paraglider makes a safe landing in Australia and then promptly gets attacked by kangaroos.
Yep, that's
hilarity.
One of the best videos of 2019. I dare the internet to beat it.
Okay, so yeah, I went to see Captain Marvel yesterday.
Oh yeah, that did come out. How was it?
It's a good movie.
Okay.
Did my camera die at some point then?
Yeah, but it's back now.
It's a good movie. It is not top tier Marvel movie, but it is it's a good introduction and origin movie. It reminds me of Iron Man 1 and 2 and Cap 1, where it's like
nice
a deep dive into the origin of the character.
Does some things I don't like. Movies. Well,
yes.
Captain America 1 is probably my least favorite of all of them, but
and Winter Soldier better be the best one, otherwise I will start throwing things.
Man, Winter Soldier is way up there. Winter Soldier is so good. Because my wife and I had gone back to start a lot of them over because I think she had seen a handful of them and I had seen like the other handful of them. I said, well, let's just start back at Iron Man 1. We'll just watch all of them.
You should have started at the Incredible Hulk.
No, thank you. I'm okay. But we got to Winter Soldier, and she says, you know, everyone seems to really like this movie. And I said, I remember really, really liking this movie, but I don't specifically remember why.
And then you get that intro sequence.
Well, and then like you watch the movie, and you're like, well, the whole fucking movie is good. Like, there's no bad part of that movie. It's like over 2 hours of incredible action scenes, one after another.
There is a reason the Russo brothers got Infinity War and Infinity War Part 2.
Right, like,
yep.
Man. For me, that movie really kicks off during that whole SUV with Nick Fury.
The Nick Fury car chase, aka one of the best car chases in modern day cinema.
That's so good. Man.
It tells you something that, in my opinion, the only thing that beats that car chase is some of the Fast and Furious car chases.
Yeah,
there
which
are
I mean,
some in there.
they're better.
That's movies designed around car chases. That's kind of their whole bread and butter.
You would sort of hope that it would be better.
Yeah, but no, Captain Marvel's a good film. It's a really good origin story.
Captain Marvel, super Nine Inch Nails fan.
Yes.
Yep.
And Brie Larson plays it really well.
Good.
Everyone who give her shit about not smiling, she spends the beginning of that movie as a warrior trained by the Kree, who are about avoiding all emotions because they're run by an AI super robot. So maybe
also,
hashtag deal with it.
People that are unhappy about her not smiling are the same sort of asshole dudes that are going to say that to a lady on the street. So like, their opinion doesn't really matter.
True.
I did like how the visual designer behind Nine Inch Nails was upset that they didn't get the T-shirt right, but enjoyed that her picking it up from a bootleg shop would mean that it would be wrong.
Yep,
it's
really, really good.
Yeah.
No, it's a good movie. It's kind of similar to the way other origin stories are. It's just a normal trope, but with superhuman characters placed into it.
Right.
Like, you could argue Captain America's first movie is a coming-of-age story, except he gets injected with a super serum.
Right.
In a very similar way, this is essentially just Top Gun with Marvel characters.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot. There could be a lot worse things.
I was talking to my wife about it because I went to see it by myself because my wife pulled a double on Friday. Fun fact, it was blurry for about 20 minutes, and then they fixed it.
Oh, nice.
I'm English. I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah.
But I'm in America, so people will complain about it.
Yeah.
So walking out of the theater, they were like, here's a free ticket for come and see whatever you want. Here's a free ticket to see whatever you want.
20 minutes, guys.
So
we still had sound. It's fine.
Yep. So now my wife has a ticket to go and see it for free.
Hey, there you go.
So I was talking to her about it, and like, there's certain things, like small touches in movie making, that there's just a chef's kiss.
Right. It's so good.
good example of it is actually in Cap 1, when he first gets the serum and then he starts chasing the Nazi who blows up the place through the streets. He's stumbling around corners because he's a completely different physical form to what he's used to dealing
he's
with.
way taller, way bigger.
Yeah, and he's lost his center of balance, so he's just completely messed up.
Yeah.
And they do a very similar thing in this movie with when she realizes the potential of her powers, and it's very much a case of firing an energy blast and then it like shooting her arm off to the side because she doesn't realize just how powerful she is.
Right.
It does really good shots like that. And then it's a good movie. It has a really good opening. I'm going to spoil this now to protect everybody from tears.
Okay.
The Marvel Studios logo, where it puts all the things, it replaces every one of them with Stan Lee and then says "Thank you, Stan" as it fades out. Like, fuck you from nearly making me cry, and the movie isn't even officially started yet.
Yeah.
Then it has the mid-credits sequence. It has two. I didn't stay for the second one. I stayed for the middle one because it was the one I was interested in. It gives you a fuck yes, the next movie gonna get here soon enough kind of feel.
What's the next movie in the...
The next movie is whatever it's Endgame is the next movie.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I need that here now.
I need that in my life, in my eyeballs.
We did watch, me and Jess did watch 2 Ridley Scott movies this week, though.
Ooh.
As part of #TVGP ODNF, we watched Thelma and Louise as this month's movie.
That's a Ridley Scott movie?
It's a Ridley Scott movie.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Neither did I until I looked and saw the director, and now because I'm concerned, I'm going to double check this.
Before someone yells at us.
Dude, people will yell at me no matter what, so...
That's true. But that's the whole thing behind ODNF, is we're filling in the theatrical gaps.
Which, Thelma and Louise is a movie neither of us have seen.
I haven't seen it in a real long time.
It's not a bad movie. It's surprising how good it is.
Yeah.
But also, it's a Ridley Scott movie, so it moves at the pace of a snail.
Yeah.
Yep, director Ridley Scott.
Okay.
Just had to make sure. Because as soon as we were done with that, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to play last night. So I just put Alien in.
Yeah, why not?
I was like, well, yeah, you know what? Ridley Scott, your pacing works for this because it's a horror movie.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Yes. Alien's still good. And on Blu-ray, that thing looks ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Except all of the models you can very clearly see are models.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't...
They look like toys.
I'm glad they didn't erase that stuff, though. You know, like, I'd rather see, like... Oh, here's all the, like, there's a stick holding up the alien's arm in the background. Like, we forgot to remove that one.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what, I would rather have them see that and miniatures and stuff like that. I'd rather see that stuff than ever actually go and, like, CG at all.
Yeah.
Because CG just stands out so much more.
Yeah.
It's like Uncanny Valley versus this is a real physical thing, but clearly it's a toy. I would rather take the second one.
Right. Yeah.
Any day.
Man, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've seen any movies this week. New episode of Bob's Burgers was pretty good.
Oh, dude, I'm like a season and a half behind now.
Luis was principal for the day, which was really good.
Okay, now I need to go watch Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
We have a cat that's named after her, so.
Yeah, this season has been really good. Last season was really, really good. I think this is season 9. Season 8 and 9 have both been... Like, I feel like I love Bob's Burgers, but I feel like every season there's like 1 or 2 episodes I don't ever want to watch again because they're either not good or they're fine, but there's something annoying about them. Like, I was rewatching some stuff in season 7, and there's that one with Sticky Sugar Booms, I think it is, where Gene goes and befriends the owner of that chocolate company. And like,
I don't think I've seen season 7 based on this.
It's a good episode, but it's one of those ones where it's like it comes up and it's like, oh, okay, I don't really want to watch that one again. Let's move on to another one.
It's a bit like the motorized shark episode. I don't like that episode at all.
Yeah, like that's a fine episode, but there are other ones that are like all the other ones in that season are all really good. So I'd rather watch the really good ones instead of the just good ones. It's a real embarrassment of riches, truth be told. I don't know if there's an episode of that show I would say is bad.
Ooh.
Some stuff in season 1 that's like, yeah, you're really finding your footing here. Like the Melissa episode, real early on, is like, I get where you're going, but stick with the show, guys. You're gonna do great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have been watching Elementary, like a lot of Elementary.
Yeah.
Which, for those of you who don't know, it's the Sherlock and Holmes adaptation set in America with Johnny Lee Miller and Lucy Liu.
Is that a Fox show?
I don't know. It's on Hulu. That's all I know.
So probably Fox, yeah.
But it's surprisingly great.
I've always heard it's good.
It's another modern day retelling kind of thing.
Right.
It doesn't have Cumbersnatch and what's his face in it.
Right.
But the fact that Watson is a woman is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Sherlock Holmes is a recovering heroin addict is
it's fitting.
It's so fitting, and it's a really good angle to take on him.
Yeah, like modernizing it a little bit. And Lucy Liu is always so good in everything.
It's actually kind of funny because halfway through the first season, something happens, and then Sherlock gives her shit about doing more self-defense stuff, which makes me laugh because if you know Lucy Liu, you know she was in Charlie's Angels,
right?
And you know she's got some shit that she can pull out.
Probably, yeah.
And about 5 episodes later, there's a bit where they're chasing people through a park, and she just comes out of nowhere with this baton and kicks the shit out of this dude. Great. The way she stands and holds herself, it's like you look like you've just stepped off Charlie's Angels set in the way you're holding yourself right there.
Yeah, like you're back on the bike.
And like Sherlock's like, oh, you've been practicing your self-defense, and it's like, come on. It's a good callback joke, but come on. Yeah, it's a good show.
I watched Into the Spider-Verse 2 more times this week because I can watch it around the kid. And even though she keeps saying, can we watch Daniel Tiger? I say, no, I'm watching Spider-Man. And the rest of the time we were watching the Hotel Transylvania trilogy, which I have a lot of thoughts about after you watch it nonstop for a week.
Yep. If there's one way to ruin a movie for yourself, it's to watch it over and over and over and over and over again.
So for me, I feel like there's only 2 ways it can go. Either you're ruined for it and you never want to watch it again, or like you start appreciating all the little small things in it.
Yep. That was Finding Nemo for me.
Yeah.
Having a child obsessed with that movie and watching it around said child a lot was like, Finding Nemo is one of the best Pixar movies ever made. You will not persuade me otherwise. I've seen it too many times. Yeah,
I think Hotel Transylvania, that's a Sony Pictures, Sony Animation picture. I largely like the first one and the third one. I think the third one is pretty good. The first one seems the most cohesive. Really don't like the second one much at all.
Is it Cars all over again?
No, God, nothing could be worse than Cars 2, except for Planes, Fire, and Rescue. That might be worse. God, that's just a hot shit of a movie. Just a wet fart on the screen. My problem with Hotel Transylvania 2, Cars 2's problem was it focused on a character you didn't give a shit about because he's comic relief in the first movie.
Yeah, and the kids love him. That's why they focused on him.
Yeah, and like I like the rest of the stuff, like them going over to England and having this heist. All that stuff was really cool, but like it just focused on the wrong stuff. I think my problem with Hotel Transylvania 2 is it tonally is different from the first one. The first one is very much like, let's accept each other. If you're a monster or you're human or whatever, it doesn't matter. We can all be friends.
Yeah, very whatever that weird family. What is that family? Frankenstein.
Brady Bunch?
No, the monster family. The Munsters. There you go.
Oh, yeah. So the first one and the third one is very similar because Dracula falls in love with a human woman. Spoilers for a movie that's probably like 3 years old at this point. My problem with the second one is they're trying to figure out the two main characters have a kid, and the big struggle is he going to be a vampire or not? And the whole message through the movie is, even if you're not, that's fine. Until the end of the movie, where he finally turns into a vampire for the first time. And, like, everybody in the movie is like, oh, thank God, he's a vampire. Whew. We missed that one. It's just like, come on, man. Like, you just ruined all this storytelling you were building up to. He turns into a vampire in like the last couple minutes, and everyone's like, ah, thank God, we got him. He's all right. It's like, man. So it's well told, and like obviously the animation is great, and Adam Sandler does a pretty great job as Dracula, but like that is just I don't know, man. Yeah, but yeah, I watch a lot of kids movies, a lot.
Well, grow up, dude.
I'd love to. I would love to be able to sit in my house and watch something with adults swearing at each other. I would really, really love to do that.
Oof, I'm trying to think.
I'd just watch Hot Fuzz again, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good movie. We're actually talking about yesterday, while ODNF was happening, we were talking about movies that you will only watch once.
Yes.
And Trainspotting came up.
Sure. Yeah, Requiem for a Dream would be a similar one.
Yep. And there's an English movie. I think it might be actually made by an Irish guy, but a British movie, I should say. Hopefully he's not a Republic. Called Dead Man's Shoes.
Okay.
Which is a very small indie film. That is like a thriller. It's one of those movies that you will only really want to watch once.
Right.
And the lead star in it is a guy called Paddy Constantine. And he is one... Yes. He is one of the two Andys from Hot Fuzz.
Oh, nice.
And his comedy timing is perfect in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
His dramatic acting is amazing in Dead Man's Shoes.
Oh, no.
And it's a really good movie. I recommend everybody watch it once.
Right.
Never again.
Oof.
Don't ever watch that movie again. Watch it once. It gives the movie the props it deserves.
Right.
Because that's a dark movie.
Oh, man. Yikes.
Okay.
Real quick before we start, I wanted to... I've been talking about a lot of older games that I've been unearthing lately. And I added a brand new really rare game to my collection. I have Kingdom Hearts 3, obviously not rare. It is rattling around inside the cage here. Nope, just some papers. But what I did buy is Kingdom Hearts The Story So Far for PS4, the game that came out a couple months ago, and it's already stupid rare.
Really?
Yes, it is. I have been waiting 2 or 3 months to be able to buy a second-hand copy on somewhere that isn't eBay. And the reason why it's rare is, so, Story So Far is a disc of Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 HD Remix, and then a disc for Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. So it's just all the pre-Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff. They have all 9 things here on the back, all just put into one case. You can buy this on wherever, like you can buy 1.5 and 2.5 and 2.8 separately. But the reason why...
the collection. Yeah,
it's a collection, and they only did a super small print run because they were expecting people to go buy the $100 copy that contained all of this and Kingdom Hearts 3 on PS4. Because that's a crazy value. Why wouldn't you want 13 games for $100? And they did not make a lot of these. So I finally managed to scoop this up for, it was $35.
That's not bad.
And in my hand, it's worth $55. So, like, yay. But now it's going to go right there in the collection. If I hadn't played all these games, I'd probably be excited to play through some of them, but...
It's Kingdom Hearts.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I went through... The story's finished. We're good.
It's quote unquote finished, dude. Come on.
Oh, they will guaranteed make more Kingdom Hearts games. I feel like they have finished.
The Sora trilogy is complete.
Yeah, the Sora trilogy of 12 games. What game was like that recently as well?
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, maybe it was. I don't remember. There was another one where they were very clearly saying like, look, this is a game. This story is complete. Like, obviously there will probably be more Kingdom Hearts stories, but even before the game came out, they were like, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the end of Sora's thing, so don't worry. So, I won't spoil
other games like that.
I feel like there's another one recently where they're like, this is really like the end of what we're talking about. Like,
Metal Gear, Devil May Cry. Oh god, right. I'm gonna let Louise in before she loses her goddamn mind during the whole show. Wait.
Have to let the beast in.
In.
Now I feel an apple stuck in my head.
Come on. Come on. You wanted to come in.
Gotta get her throne ready.
You. Yeah. There.
I thought she was gonna make a noise. Oh well.
Hello.
Everyone's favorite cast member has returned. Louise the cat.
Yep. So don't jump down. You best make yourself comfortable right here.
Now I gotta be free. Once she gets settled in, let's kick this thing off.
As my wife screams downstairs about something, presumably in Siege.
Right.
What? No. No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, please.
No.
For anyone that's not watching the video, she's aggressively rubbing her face on his face.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
She probably hasn't seen you for what, an hour and a half?
Something like that.
Yeah. Which in cat terms is like 4 days.
You get to stay. No, you get to stay right here. Right here. Yeah.
Man, I love cats.
I just love the fact that she looks so pissed off all of the time.
Yeah, she has a really good resting bitch face.
There. We're going to lie right there, and I'm going to turn away, and we're going to pretend that Daddy's not here.
Okay, you ready to start this thing?
She's headbutting me so hard she turned the chair around.
I saw that was really good. Hey, Louise, be cool. We got some work to do here, man.
No. She really doesn't care.
Man, this camera freezing thing with Skype sucks lately.
Why is it doing it again?
I haven't restarted my internet today. Yeah, now it dropped. I haven't restarted my internet today to say, see if it was on my end. It's probably not on your end. It's probably just Skype being dumb again. Come back to Moon making out with a cat.
Excuse me? For
Sorry,
audio listeners, that is not correct. Okay, good girl. Okay, give back rubs over here. Yeah?
That's good stuff.
I'm trying to get her attention towards the back of the chair rather than the front.
It's sort of counterintuitive because you're petting her, trying to get her attention. She's like, yeah, just keep going for the next couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
Okay, back up. No.
No.
Okay, I'm going to turn away now.
Anything but that. All right, you ready to start?
You're not allowed on the desk.
Not on the desk, Louise. No, anything but that.
That's your spot. No.
Next thing you know, she hits spacebar and our recording gets fucked.
I deliberately click off.
Yeah, me too.
Off because I've done that before.
Yep.
I think it was while I was doing ODNF. I was trying to pull up Twitter. See, now you jumped down, you bitch. You go to that door and... I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I can see it, yeah. Her just waiting at the door like, excuse me, can I...
Yeah, so now you don't get to come back in.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Sorry. You already got to check the place out.
No, come on. Come on. You made your choice.
Cats love to patrol the places they live in, but what they don't understand is you also can't howl in the background while you do that. Because the microphone picks it up.
Oh, Jesus.
Ah, being a cat parent. Good times.
Yep. What's worse, humans or cats?
Humans. But I don't like people on the best of days, so... You know.
Only the sprug will do.
I'm very much like a cat. Like, I like my people, and everyone else is a stranger.
Also, I didn't realize exactly how dusty this hat was.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You unearthed it from a tomb.
Yes.
Some space lady talked to you.
Yep. And I picked up the spear of somebody or another.
Talked to you about a lot of time travel and some math. You're like, okay, cool. Can I just want my hat.
Okay. Yep. I'm good.
All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello.
Your name could be following Moonpier. You could be third chair here on TVGP. If you're interested, applications are open now. Fill in a little bit of information about yourself. What you like, what your shoe size is, not like that.
What's your mother's maiden name? What's your social security number?
The 3 numbers on the back of your credit card. Just real basic info. And if you look at our Twitter account at TVGP, there's a link there. I've been tweeting it out about once a day. Go put it in there. We'll probably keep it open for about another week. We got a good number of applicants so far, but if you want to be on the show, no prior experience needed, anything like that, but go put your application in and we'll be in touch. I think that's all the business stuff we have, so let's go right into what you've been playing this past week, Moonpier.
Let's start with the common one, Apex Legends. I like Apex Legends. Apex Legends is still a good game.
Yep.
The new gun is interesting, the whatever it's called, and despite being completely out of touch with game news, I await with bated breath the chance to support them with a season pass. Which, depending on how it works, we will be probably getting 2 in this household. So, should be fun.
The battle pass for Fortnite seems like it's a really great value. Typically,
the Rocket League one is the same.
Oh yeah, they have one too. Yeah, so I'm hoping that they Respawn follows on top of that, just making sure that it's not a ton of money, but the value is pretty clearly there.
Yeah. But yeah, I played a whole bunch of Apex Legends early this week. I didn't play it towards the latter part of this week because I don't want to play video games right now. # spoiler alert.
Yeah, man, it's been another week like that for me. Apologies to anyone watching the live stream or the video. Skype is being stupid today, so Moon is going to be coming and going a little bit here. Yeah, like I keep sitting down, I'll fire up something and be like, no, I don't know.
Nope. Yep. Load up something else. Nope.
Yeah, I'll play a Binding of Isaac daily. That's enough Isaac for right now. Okay, sure.
Yep. For me, it was load up about 4 games, one after the other, close them all, then switch over to Hulu and watch more Elementary.
Right, there you go.
Or last night's case, watch Alien.
Yeah.
So yeah, Apex Legends played a fair bit of that early this week, with specifically calling out community members, Monkey Senior and Late Elf. Played a couple of, I think like over 2 days, like probably about 3 hours with each of them.
Nice.
Like, it was one of those things where it's like you just start and then you just don't stop, because that's how Apex Legends is.
Yeah.
The story goes on. We rogue like it.
Please go listen to We Rogue Like It.
Yep, the roguelike, which is very intro friendly. Like, I've recommended this as a step 1 in the roguelike family.
Right.
I have 2 achievements left in the game.
Wow.
So not only is it an easy game to play for me, but it's also a very good switch off my brain kind of game.
Right.
So because of that, it's been my go-to switch off
It's for anyone watching the archive video or the live stream. It finally caught up to Moonpear, and if Skype isn't going to show, then we've got some sound.
Hi, my name is Moonpear, and I'm a 01.
Yep, that's your cellular number.
So yeah, the story goes on. It's been my switch off my brain and pull the trigger a bunch to slash easy enemies to bits.
Right.
Literally, the last two things I need to do is collect 100% of the items. Stop me if that sounds familiar for other games achievements.
Weird. Like a real platinum god or something like that.
Yep. And the other achievement I need is summon our Lord and Savior Pectron.
I already like this game.
Which is funny because that's an item you get. You basically, and now I really am a 01. It's great.
Yeah.
When you are heading through the game, you collect items, and some of them are dumb and some of them are funny. One of them is called Thermavision, and if you hold the trigger, it turns the screen red and then does crosshair targeting, like Terminator. And then you let go of the trigger and you just basically go and attack them all really quickly.
I'm surprised that's not an item in Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah, it's full of stupid references like that, and some of them are really great, some of them are just dumb. But there's 3 familiar items you can get, which is a bunny, which I'm pretty sure is a reference to the English comedian group that I hate. Everyone in America loves them. Life of Brian.
Monty Python.
Yes. I'm pretty sure the bunny is a reference to that because it's like the legendary bunny of Hop Diggity or something like that. And you can collect that, a woodpecker, and 2 turtle doves.
Okay.
And if you collect all 3 on the same quote-unquote run, they all merge together to form one item, which is Lord Pectron, who is apparently an absolute beast.
Right.
So he is counted as an item to collect, and I am at 98% on my items collected. Man. All I need to do is get the 3 items on a run, and I'll summon him, and it will be fine.
Man.
The bright side about this is you can essentially do a loop around, where you can start again and hold certain items over by choosing which level you want to start on.
Right.
So all I need to do is not be stupid and not die, and then just run through it and collect. Yeah, that's all. So, I mean, I'm playing it. It's fun. It will be uninstalled when I have those last 2 achievements. But you know what? It's a good, stupid switch my brain off and just relax kind of game.
Yeah.
Where I can have a full-blown conversation with my wife while running around a room, just smashing the trigger as fast as I can. Thanks again, Monkey Senior. I didn't mention it first time, but I did play some Katamari Rerolled on the PC.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you want to play some relaxing games where you don't have to think too much, Katamari, because why not?
God, that game is so good.
Yes, it is. I don't really want to say much more other than that because that game is so good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the positive and the negative of the Reroll remaster is it's still the first Katamari game. It's still really good. Runs at 1080 or runs at 60 frames, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a really good game. It's got that music. What more do you need? My final game this week, the game I will actually talk a fair bit about.
Okay.
Because you might want to just click your mouse over there, did a little thing on the We Roguelike It tab.
Okay.
And you might want to add in a little game called Distrust.
Distrust. Okay.
Which is a game inspired by, literally, the first line in the description, inspired by John Carpenter's The Thing.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so there's the bait on the hook for you. Let me throw out... I'm going to do that thing where you put some bait in the slingshot and you fire it into the water and get you even more interested. It's an isometric, top-down, survival-based, roguelike game.
Okay. I feel like with every word, the Vince McMahon gif progresses. I've just fallen over like, ooh.
Note to self, I need to go and make that today at some point. It's really interesting game. It's hard to describe, apart from the categories I just filed it under. It's an Eastern Bloc game, so let's get that out the way straight away. Okay. One of the tooltips in the loading screens is, the people who made this live in Siberia, so the cold is real.
Wow, okay.
So when I say Eastern Bloc, I really mean Eastern Bloc.
Right, all the way over there.
Yes. So you are polar explorers, essentially. You are in a helicopter heading towards a base. The helicopter gets some weird bright light in it, and the helicopter crashes, and then you have to go and explore this polar base to try and find out what happened, what's going on, so on and so forth. I started with 2 survivors. You start with 2. And it's a survival game. You have warmth, you have stamina, and you have hunger.
Okay.
And as you're going through these buildings in this Arctic wilderness kind of thing, you go into the buildings, you do a little exploring XCOM style, where you like open up all the boxes and get the wood and the coal and stuff like that. When you go to sleep, that's when it summons the monsters.
Oh no. I'm actually watching a trailer right now, and this reminds me in a positive way of some of the 90s games, like Crusader No Remorse and stuff like that, where it's this cool sort of pseudo 3D isometric thing. This looks cool.
It reminds me, like, just from the crispness and the actual art style, it reminds me a lot of Icewind Dale.
Yeah.
Really crisp, like snowy looking environment. The art is actually really fantastic in it. Each survivor has their own special skills. So far I have 2 or 3, and I unlocked a 4th one while playing the game already. Wow. So I know that when it comes to restarting the game, I can choose another survivor.
Oh, okay.
Because what it looks like it does is it looks like it has zones. So it's zones 1 through 6, and you have to make your way through those zones to progress, I'm assuming, to the end of the game. Every time you go to sleep, there's a chance that the game will summon these monsters who are brought into this world by the beta waves of people asleep. If you don't go to sleep, your people will understandably suffer the consequences of fatigue and exhaustion. And in a survival game, you need to sleep.
Right.
So it's this balance of trying to get your guys in the best shape they can be, solve the puzzle that's needed to get through the exit gate to the next zone, and at the same time keep everybody alive and survive against these monsters who, so far, when you start off, the one monster that you get is vulnerable to light. So you go inside a building, you turn on the generator, and the building produces light. The monster doesn't like that, so it will circle the building while damaging itself.
Okay.
You can go out and actually look at it and point your flashlight at it, and it will kill it a lot quicker.
But why bother?
But why bother? As the wind picks up here, something fierce.
I was like, man, is that one of your cats trying to get in again? No, it's just the wind.
Nope, that's just New York wind.
Yeah.
I did one run of it today, so I've only played this game a little bit. I strongly recommend we stick it in the We Roguelike It list.
I just put it in there.
Okay. Because this game looks like it's going to be a run-based roguelike.
Right.
With puzzle and survival mechanics and everything else all included in it at the same time. There's a bunch of status effects, bleeding, so on and so forth, like the usual survival stuff. My wife bought this game for me. I'm not sure what that says.
Okay.
According to her, it was because it said the first line of the description.
The Thing roguelike.
Yes. So this game, honestly, I've only played like 2 hours of it, but I'm actually really, really enjoying it. And sometimes when you're not feeling video games, you need something that just comes out of the blue and is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
And this is pretty good for me. I've got so many games installed and stuff like that. It's like, it's not, it's the dichotomy of how many things I can play versus wanting to play.
Yeah.
And you know what? This came along. It's a small install. It's just jump in, give it a go and see how it feels. And so far it feels good. And it's got multiple endings. And it's also got madness features in it because one of my people went mad.
The trailer says it has co-op too.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That sounds really cool.
I really like Distrust like a lot.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at how much immediately it was speaking to me in a way that the Thing from the PlayStation 2 era just did not.
It is only $12 on sale right now.
Go pick it up. Give it a shot.
Actually, it looks like it's part of the Fanatical Survival bundle. What is this? Looks like there's a bundle of survival games right now, and Distrust is one of those. Deadlight is another. Tharsis, and that is $4.
On
Fanatical. Yeah, fanatical.com.
Okay.
Part of one of their bundles.
So far it's a very, very good game, and I'm honestly torn now. Do I keep playing it, or do I put it to the side and wait for the roguelike?
I'd say keep playing it, man.
Yeah.
I feel like if you don't feel like playing a lot of games and this game is really fun to play, yeah, play that game.
Yeah, it's not like we don't have 100 games in the Wii roguelike list.
Yeah, we were talking to someone this weekend and said, you know, have about 100 games, so you have a 1% chance for the next episode for this to come up. So
yep,
keep rolling those dice.
But no, Distrust. That's the last thing I've been playing this week because meh.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What have you been playing, Boston?
I played a little bit more Darkest Dungeon.
Of course you did.
I'm still in the phase of, you know, leveling up my team, trying to find a good couple teams there. I did try to do one more farmstead run. So I did the first run, which is basically try and defeat as many waves of enemies as you possibly can. I got through all the waves, and it said, like, all right, good job, back to town. And when I got back to town, it opened up a boss fight in there. And it seems like I just need to go back through the waves again to get to the boss fight. But something seemed to have happened, like an event happened in that expedition. And it basically, I've not had this happen in this game before. So I took the game's advice to heart. I went in and the background changed, and it said that there was like a different effect in the air. And
okay,
all 4 of my party members said we should run right now.
I'm hoping you did.
I ran right away. Like I went through one round before I was able to figure out how to look at the effects. And it was basically my team got debuffed, the enemies got largely buffed. I got the hell out of there.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be able to fight that boss fight at some point. But that was definitely not the run to do it on.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, and I really need to spend a little bit of time going in the dungeon, getting as many heirlooms as I can, getting back out, and starting to build up my buildings in town, because I have not spent as much time doing that in this run as I have in my previous runs.
Yeah.
And that's starting to affect my team, because I can only throw one set of people in the recovery places, and that's not working when I have like 20 people in my roster. So yeah, building back up. Challenge still accepted. Gonna beat this thing somehow.
Yeah.
Props to Fifth Horseman in Discord, who says he's finished it a number of times, and actually said that the Jester, if you're listening to We Roguelike It, a class that was impenetrable for us, he gave a couple of good tips that I thought were really good.
Handy.
Yeah, that's over in the We Roguelike It channel right now. Some good info about Darkest Dungeon that I think is going to help me a lot.
Yeah, did you hear Alex Navarro's latest declaration this week?
No.
Nobody has ever read the Dune novels before.
Oh, I believe that, yeah.
Hey. I have already accepted that and defeated that challenge at the age of 13, so don't you start with me.
There we go. Okay, so one half TVGP has already defeated the Navarro challenge. It's on my shoulders. Next game, there was a patch that came out for ToeJam Earl Back in the Groove. Fixed a lot of frame rate issues, fixed a lot of trophy and achievement issues. That's out now for most of the platforms, I believe. Played a little bit of it just to see if frame rate is largely fixed. A little bummed because on this run I'm on, I had gotten to level 0, which unlocks a trophy, but I don't have that trophy because I'm not on that level.
Yeah.
So that's That's fine. It's a small team. There's like 6 of them, so
yeah,
things are gonna happen.
And they are communicating very clearly on social media platforms what is going on. So
yes,
good on them.
That's a really good point. Their patch notes were good. They communicate a lot.
I did love their explanation for the pacifist bug.
Yeah, so this is why game dev is hard. I've totally forgot about this. There's a trophy and achievement in the game that's called pacifist. Basically, don't pop any Earthlings throughout an entire run, which is really pretty easy because you don't get a ton of weapons you don't get a ton of offensive abilities. And people were running through and doing it and not getting the trophy, and the developers were finding that this one enemy had a tendency to walk off the side of the level, and which will kill the enemy, but it would also consider that enemy having been killed by you, so therefore you can't get the trophy. So that's one of those ones where they found it and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, that's crazy. We're gonna fix that. That should not happen.
Yep.
Yeah. But last but not least, it's the start of a new season in Destiny 2, Season of the Drifter / Joker's Wild from the annual pass comes out. Played a little bit with the TVGP alumnus, the Hannah. We finished the campaign. Both had a lot of fun. I liked seeing a lot of that stuff over again, especially the cutscene that happens after the game that teases you about everywhere we've gone since then, except for the last thing. We still don't know what that is. So that was fun. Probably keep sort of marching our way through that stuff. So Season of the Drifter and Joker's Wild have started now, this past week. And one of the things that they introduced are, I don't remember what the bounties are called. They're like supercharged bounties or something like that. Basically, if you're level 50, they give you 5 bounties. They're super easy to do. Each one of them drops 2 light level 640 items. And then you can use them or infuse them, whatever. Friend of the show, Maximus Prime, started at 518. In 90 minutes, had all 5 of those bounties done, and is now 640.
Handy.
That's really great. I would really like to see Bungie do this for every time the light level expands. Like, the new cap is 700, so it doesn't... nobody gets all the way to the top immediately.
But it's enough to make it competitive for the new content.
Right, and if you... The worst is when... I'm level 661 now. The worst thing is when someone starts and they're like, oh, well, I didn't play Black Armory because they didn't interested in it, or what, they didn't have the annual pass or whatever. The worst is like, well, I'm level 400, what can we do? And it's like, nothing. And you can't do any of the new content. That's the worst.
Yeah.
So very happy they did that. Very happy that worked. They added a bunch of cool stuff, and I'm going to do my best to explain the loop that's happening here, because it's really interesting. So they changed Gambit a little bit, vanilla Gambit. Before, what would happen is Gambit matches would take so long, and often teams would purposely, if it looked like it was going to go to a 3rd round, teams would purposely lose just to end it after 2 rounds.
Yeah.
What they've done is the 3rd round is now sudden death. The Primeval has spawned. Everyone has full supers. You have your bunch of ammo. Just whoever kills it first wins. That's really great. As part of this, they've introduced Gambit Prime. So this is one of the 2 new modes that they've introduced here. Gambit Prime is a 1-round mode that is just fill your motes up to 100. The Primeval spawns. You need to take down the envoys, which are these wizards that accompany it. Take down 3 of those. This Well of Light spawns. Stand in there to do a bunch of damage to the boss. Sort of rinse and repeat once the Primeval has spawned. So fundamentally, a little bit different, but we'll get into why it's a lot different here in a minute. The map that they have out for right now is way bigger than the other Gambit maps in a pretty positive way. They're adding another one in next week? Yeah, next week. Because they're doing the same thing they did as last season, where they're sort of every week, maybe every half a week, there's a new content coming out. Next week is Thorn, which is great, on the 12th. Also the day I get the Division 2, so I'm not going to be worrying about Thorn right away.
Oh, don't talk about that game. I need to budget for that game.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm going to be like a week behind you.
I know. So Gambit Prime is there, it has loot drops, has invasions, has all the normal stuff. But as part of that, you're getting these synths. And there's stuff like Collector Synth, Reaper Synth, stuff like that. And they look like the Drifter's coins. Early on, what the Drifter gives you is a synthesizer. What you do is you put these synths in there, and it generates a mode. And you're going to take that mode into the other mode that they've added called The Reckoning, which sounds crazier than it is. But in this mode, you actually go into the thing that the Drifter carries behind his ship. It's like this giant crackling planet thing. And what you find in there is a horde mode. And a true horde mode, to be clear, which is really great. You're actually taking those things that you earned from Gambit Prime, and you're wagering those in the Reckoning.
Okay, so put 2 down, do a certain amount of waves, get 4 back, kind of thing.
Well, no, it's cooler. What happens is you'll put, let's say, like you'll put the weakest moat into a bank that's at the beginning of the Reckoning. The great thing they did, thank you, Bungie, for learning this lesson. If you wager a moat and you lose, you get that moat back from the bank.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not exactly a wager, but okay.
Yeah, and the wager term is sort of scary until you realize you can just get it back, which is great because some of the moats, some of the synths can be a little bit hard to get. Because some of the stuff you do, some of the ones you get are based on things you do in a Gambit Prime match. So you collect and deposit a bunch of moats, you get a Collector Synth. You kill a bunch of enemies, you get a Reaper Synth.
Yeah.
So in the Reckoning, let's say you wager the weakest level of Reaper Synth in Tier 1. You finish it, it's just a bunch of waves and then a boss at the end. At the end, it gives you an armor piece of the Reaper set. And there are 4 different sets. Tier 2 just came out. It is stupid hard at this point. It is 640 or 650 is the recommended level for Tier 1. That's just a whole bunch of enemies, fill up your bar to 100%, kill the boss. Tier 2 is do that, and then go to another room where you start building a bridge where there are non-stop enemies and bosses spawning on you. I have not been able to get halfway across that bridge. It's very tough, which is great.
Yeah.
So the benefit of getting that gear is that's Gambit Prime gear. So
by getting that gear, you go back in, you do better with Gambit Prime, you come back in, you cycle it back into the Horde mode.
Because what they've finally done is they finally introduced gear sets. So Gambit Prime gear has
2.5 games later.
yeah, I know. Gambit Prime gear has bonuses on it that helps you do better in Gambit Prime. The more pieces you have and the stronger those pieces are. The best is going to be the Tier 3 one, which opens up end of next week, I think it is. And at that point, there are bonuses for it's 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. So there are 5 bonuses on every piece of gear. And the Reaper set, which is the one I really want, which is just you're killing regular enemies in Gambit. The very first bonus when you get 3 pieces is when you hit a boss enemy that's not a primeval, you mark it, and the whole team does greatly increased damage to that enemy. So it's this cool passive thing, and a lot of the other ones are pretty similar. So you already have the loop figured out where go play some Gambit Prime, get a bunch of synths, go play the Reckoning, get a bunch of armor pieces, do better in Gambit Prime.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things, too, in the Reckoning is when you finish a round of it, it just spits your team back out to the beginning of the Reckoning, where the bank is.
And you can choose to just run it again.
Yeah, you can run it with your team however you want. You don't have to go back to orbit and pick it again and go through that whole rigmarole. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying Gambit Prime because I enjoyed Gambit already. To me, it's them trying to extend that mode a little bit further. I like the Reckoning because I like Horde modes a lot. We'll see what Tier 3 has, but early on in Joker's Wild, this stuff seems good. And we obviously don't have all of it. And they're squashing some bugs related to Gambit, so there's vanilla Gambit is missing a couple maps at the moment because blockers weren't spawning, which is hilarious. But so far, what they've given us seems pretty good. I think the real question is, right now, if you don't enjoy Gambit, is Joker's Wild for you? I'm not sure, because they didn't launch a raid. They're not launching a raid as part of this annual pass, which is great, as this annual pass episode, which is great, because that means I'll probably be able to get the seal and the title for this one. Yep. One of my larger issues is they're not launching more PvP maps. We haven't had a new PvP map in a really long time. It's been a couple of months. I think that's a real bummer, and I don't think that's inexcusable, but I expect better of, hey, here's a brand new thing. Here's one map now, another map, a map a month as we're going through, something like that. Or at least one map per content drop. I feel like that's not asking too much. It'd be nice if there were 2 or 3 per content drop, but I don't know all the work that goes into creating those. So far, if you don't like Gambit,
it might not be for you.
Yeah, it might not be, at least maybe not yet. I don't think we haven't seen everything that Joker's Wild has, of course, because it launches over 3 months. Yeah. They have this new spring event called the Revelry that will launch at the beginning of next month, middle of next month, something like that. On the roadmap, they have just something called Arc Week that's happening on April 9th, I think. I don't know what that is. That could be potentially interesting. Thorn looks like it's PvE and PvP focused. Thorn, the bonuses on it, now that it's coming back, look even crazier than before.
Wow.
Which is insane. So it looks like there will be plenty of stuff, and to me it's tough because it's great that if you didn't play Black Armory, or if you are like the Hannah and you're just picking it up now, get to level 50, do those things, now you're 640. That's really great. So you can skip Black Armory if you don't want to play, if you didn't like the Forges, or you don't want to run the raid or anything like that. It's great that you can just start with Gambit Prime and the Reckoning right away. But if you don't, I think one of the harder parts is, if you don't like Gambit, or Gambit Prime to be clear, the Reckoning might not do anything for you, because it's only going to give you
better stuff for Gambit.
Right, like the loop is still going to be there, and sure, it's going to give you some of the new weapons all look really cool, and it seems like there are more curated drops this time, which is really great. But a lot of that stuff seems focused on Gambit Prime, so I'm hoping that over the next couple of weeks, they start unveiling more stuff for either vanilla Gambit or some more PvE stuff. PvP is in a really bad spot right now. The PvP team has been missing for months on Bungie's side, and I don't know what they're going to do, but I hope they do something soon. Because PvP needs some love, just overall. And I don't know what they're going to do. But the PvE side is really stable and really solid. But yeah, I'll be talking about Joker's Wild over the next couple of weeks or so as things get unrolled and unveiled, and we start getting more tiers, and I start getting my light level up because I got some really bad drops this week, and just wasn't. I can't breach 661 has been my highest, and I can't breach that yet. And going into tier 2 of the Reckoning, which is 670 at 661, normally would be fine. I am getting one-shotted by a lot of stuff, so the difficulty is there. Fun. Yeah, and it's really nice. I like when they sort of turn the difficulty up pretty significantly.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm playing this week, so let's take a break. Water. Stupid Skype.
Yeah, I've just been watching my face turn from my face to a blue S to 0-1 and then back.
Yep. All right, I am ready to do this whenever you are. I just don't have a lot of talk. Moon and I were talking about this in the pre-show when we sort of have we catch up on how we're doing, and we have our business meeting stuff, and we just catch up on everything. Honestly, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. I woke up and I was like, it's not daylight saving time. It's not anything like that. Just every once in a while you just wake up and you sort of feel grumpy. And you're like, I want to sit on the couch and, watch Bob's Burgers all day instead of having to do anything that resembles being an adult.
Yeah, I was literally the next thing I was going to say was going to be fuck being a grown-up.
Yeah. It's not great. I would not recommend it. No, can I return being a grown-up?
To all you kids out there listening to the outcasts.
Yeah.
Stay fucking young. Just stay as young as you possibly can, as long as you can.
I feel like we are fairly young-ish for being in our late 30s. Obviously late 30s isn't like, I'm 1 foot in the grave, but I feel like there are a lot more stuffy, shitty, super old people that are our age.
Oh, there definitely is, but even as far back as when I was 14, people would be like, "Oh, how old are you?" And I'd be like, "I'm 32."
Yeah.
At a 14-year-old, I was saying that, I'm 30. I was the oldest 14-year-old you ever met, and now I'm probably the oldest 30 old
but we finally caught up.
I actually don't know how old I am. I always have to do the math. 34.
I'm 37.
34 for me.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest 34-year-old you ever met because I'm actually 90 now. And
right. My insides are 90, that's for sure.
Well, yeah. That goes without saying.
Yeah. It's real rough. Real rough from the camera down.
That will be a good show title.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's just sort of, I don't know, when I'm grumpy like this, I just want to go hang out by myself for a little bit.
Yeah, I resisted making the joke when we were talking about it earlier, but you saying you woke up on the wrong side of bed. Every time you say that, I just want to respond with, you want to wake up and just break something. Everything sucks. Everything is fucked.
Oh,
you don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off.
That's right. I wonder if I would like more of their stuff listening to it now. I wonder if that's one of those bands where it's like, if you get away from them being huge and them being fucking annoying. I liked $3 Bill, y'all. Effect. What's that?
The Nickelback effect?
Yeah. I feel like Nickelback makes fine music.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of why I have a problem with them. I don't hate them. I'm not like, oh, fuck it, turn this shit off. I just don't care. I feel like apathy is probably the worst emotion that a band can bring forward.
Honestly, I put Nickelback, late Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'm talking late Chili Peppers, and Foo Fighters, and late Muse, all in the same pot, which is...
Imagine Dragons is in there.
Imagine Dragons.
Most of U2's catalog for me.
Yep, you make really catchy, really solid music.
Yep.
Designed for the masses.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's made you bajillions of dollars. You are perfectly within your right to make your bajillions of dollars.
But God, like, you look at Muse's first half of their catalog and the back half of their catalog.
Their first half of their catalog speaks to me as a human.
It's
the back
like a different band.
Is just catchy bullshit.
Yeah. And Muse, to be clear, Muse has never been great at writing lyrics. And that's been okay. But
they are very much like Korn, where they are the masters of just bullshit to fill in spaces with the music in the background.
Korn, angry bullshit.
Muse, orchestral angry bullshit.
Exactly. Yeah, so like I keep thinking like when Limp Bizkit's first album, I think that was $3 Bill Y'all, came out, I thought they're one of the progenitors of what we eventually called rap rock. It's like, it's the first album that most of us heard, probably not the first ever, but like the first big album we all heard where it mushed those two together, and you're like, wow, this is something really different. Like, this is really cool. And man, they just got way too big.
It was Chocolate Starfish.
Yeah.
I don't want to point any fingers here, but Chocolate Starfish was the album and 2 songs from that was used for WrestleMania. Was it WrestleMania 17? It was either 17 or 18, but it was the biggest WrestleMania of wrestling history ever.
Oh, okay.
And it was... Hold on, I'm gonna check on this now because I need to know which WrestleMania it was.
I'm looking up their discography here. So $3 Bill Y'all was the first one. The second one was Significant Other. Interesting. And then it's Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water, which, Jesus Christ, that was like the beginning of the end. Wes Borland left.
WrestleMania 17, it was.
Okay.
And they used 2 songs from that from that album for that thing, and that was when WWE was in its Attitude Era stage.
Yeah, wasn't it like Break Stuff and...
It was...
Rollin'?
No, it was Rollin' was the Undertaker's theme at the time.
God, that was the worst. There was like I remember because I have an album of like entrance songs because it had an exclusive Our Lady Peace song on it back when we needed to buy albums for that stuff. And there was a remix of Rollin' on there that was just... Rollin' is not the best song to begin with, and it's sort of...
No, it's not. Music. It was, I believe it was My Way was the song used for, that was the song used for the Austin versus The Rock match.
Okay.
That was the promo for that. And I wish I could remember which one it was.
God, that Chocolate Starfish cover is so bad.
Yeah.
Sold 1 million copies in its first week. 400,000 copies on the first day of release. Wow. God, they were so big.
Yeah, they got fucking huge.
Yeah.
WrestleMania X7 promo. And then should get the promo package.
Oh, right. That was the start of a short amount of beef between Fred Durst and Trent Reznor.
A short amount of beef?
Yeah, that ended with Trent Reznor saying, Fred Durst can surf a piece of plywood up my ass. It's really great.
Okay, sorry. My Way was the one used for the actual show. What the fuck was the one... I don't know. It was a different song used for the actual promo package.
One of their other songs.
Yeah. But that shot them, like, in wrestling fans, that shot them right to the top of the thing.
Yeah.
Because it did the same thing in 2001 for Trapped.
God, Trapped.
Headstrong as the No Mercy 2001. Google this for me. Trapped Headstrong WWE. I need to know if it's 2001 No Mercy. If it is, my memory is fucking way too weird.
Theme song for WWE Bad Blood 2003.
2 years off, 2 pay-per-views off. That's fine. I'm perfectly happy with that. But yeah, they did the same thing for that. Trapped suddenly went straight into everyone's conscious and then straight disappeared. Similarly, Nickelback was the theme for Raw for about 5 years.
Wow. Man, I totally forgot about Trapped.
Wow. I see, when I'm in an angry mood, I like listening to that kind of music because if I listen to sad songs, there are 2 or 3 songs that will make me cry every single time I listen to them. I will not listen to The Gambler because that was my dad's favorite song.
Yeah, that's a great song.
And if I listen to that song, I will cry.
Right.
But when it comes to angry music, it has the calming effect on me. So if I'm really amped and pissed off, I listen to angry music and it calms me the fuck down.
Lean all the way into it.
Yeah.
Hey there, Alien Voyage. How are you?
Hello. So yeah, like break stuff is right up there on my angry music playlist.
Yeah, that's like the king of sensical angry music.
Yeah, it's really good for that. Linkin Park did a couple of songs which are in that playlist as well, but
I like Linkin Park. Well, the first couple albums.
First one was great. Meteora was but that's because Chester was always my favorite part of Linkin Park.
Yeah, I like Meteora a lot.
I like it for its like rhythm and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't like the lack of Chester, but he was bit by a brown recluse spider and recovering at the time. So
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
That's why he's barely on that album, is because right when it started going into production,
moonlighting as Spider-Man.
Yes, and Narcosis as his flesh, just completely withered away.
Bleh.
Yeah.
Spiders.
I don't mind them. They keep the bugs away. But
yeah, that's true.
I'm also very careful as soon as I see one that I don't recognize to not go anywhere near it.
Yeah, don't mess with spiders.
Nope.
And Voyage says, I'm good, your stream is delayed. Yeah, there's nothing to do about that. Sorry. That's Mixer, man. YouTube is apparently really good if you want to watch on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm good whenever you are.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of March 11th, 2019. One Piece World Seeker comes out on Friday for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
This is an anime game?
Yeah, and I always keep meaning to start reading One Piece, but it's a lot like Naruto or Bleach, where it's like, okay, you're going to start on this volume, and there are literally 500 after that, so get ready.
Fun with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hear it's incredible. But
it's the same. It's the same, like you said, with recommended anime to people. People are like, "Oh, what's your favorite anime?" And you're like, Well, let's see. I like Naruto.
700 episodes.
I like Bleach.
800 episodes.
I like Dragon Ball.
Right. 5,000 episodes.
Yeah. It's like, well,
yeah.
I don't know.
I saw someone talking about Cowboy Bebop. I think it was an anniversary of something, or it was like maybe a Steve Bloom's birthday or something like that. And someone's like, "Oh, should I watch Cowboy Bebop? Like, how long it is? How long is it?" Someone says, "Oh, it's not super long. It's just 26 episodes." And I was just like, anime.
Yep,
you're so good.
Well, it's like Akira though. Like the movie is like a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
But the mangas, the movie covers like 50% of what's in the mangas, and the mangas are like 2
it's like
inches
5
thick.
volumes. Yeah. Oh, so good. And last but not least, Tom Clancy's The Division 2 comes out on Friday, PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Is it full stop out for everybody on Friday?
Or it's also early access on the 12th, on Tuesday.
There you go. Okay,
yeah,
so that's where the issues are.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to see, once I create the clan, whether or not that carries over to multiple platforms. If not, then check on Moonpier for the Xbox One clan at some point.
Don't mind me while I just look at my budget.
I'm just gonna crunch some quick numbers here, but the Division 2 is probably the most excited I've been for a brand new release in a while, especially after Ubisoft came out this week and they say, like, before you get to the end game, you have to get through our 40-hour campaign, which is great. And then once you get through that, then the entire world changes and things get way harder and more difficult. And I was like, great, let's do it.
Yep, bring it on. Let's roll.
Yeah.
Like, I am perfectly happy with that. And you know what? The Division 1 was a fantastic game. I need to put some solid time into that because I still have that thing installed.
Yeah.
I've got all the achievements from the base game. I'm probably never going to get any of the underground achievements anymore. Like, I'm not going to get to max level and all that. There is a survival mode and an achievement for escaping the survival mode. I do not have that achievement.
That's the stuff.
So maybe this week I've got some Division in my future to try and get that survival achievements ticked off.
Yeah, there you go.
Because something tells me I'll need the space to install Division 2.
It's a little big.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to news stories. Square Enix has announced a Octopath Traveler mobile prequel. This is notable, I think, primarily because for me, when you hear like mobile prequel, it's going to be some sort of stripped down experience. It has the same graphics engine as the one on Switch. That cool HD 2.2D game, whatever they were calling it.
Wasn't it UE as well, I think?
Yeah, it's Unreal Engine 4, I believe.
So hopefully, I mean, we know phones can run UE now based on Fortnite, based on PUBG.
Yeah.
So
what was that big what was that big iOS game?
Are you talking about the sword game that the Shadow Complex people put out?
Yeah.
Infinity Blade?
Yeah. That was, to me, I think that was one of the first Unreal phone games.
It was. And it was mind-blowing how good that thing looked.
Yeah.
I installed it, played it for about 10 minutes. I was like, I need to stop.
Yeah, I can't keep playing this. Yeah, those just got delisted, unfortunately.
Yep.
So,
the only thing I can think of with that is music licensing.
I think it was the 64-bit transition. Because iOS transitioned from 32-bit to 64-bit, and like everyone had to go back and redo their stuff. And understandably, a bunch of developers were like, I can't afford that.
No, they can afford it. They just didn't want to do it. That's the difference here.
Yeah, I think for someone like Chair, it's like, hey, if we do all this work, you guys aren't going to buy it. So no one's going to buy a brand new copy of Infinity Blade 4, I think was the last one.
Dude, the fourth one was like from 2 onwards, they were free to play games.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Chair is kind of owned by UE, but let's move on.
Yeah, I think Epic did buy Chair when the first game got super big.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of small developers, Stories, The Path of Destinies is going to land on Xbox One this month. I wanted to bring this up because I really, really, really like this game. And if someone is looking for sort of a fun hack and slash that has multiple branching paths in your story and gets really crazy at some points, it's not the best hack and slash, but it's certainly really charming. It's a cool small team. It reminds me of any of the last 2 trophies on PS4, but it's a really cool and it's a really fun game.
I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like that's one of those games where it's pick a buzzword out of a hat to name your game. Stories of Destinies.
Stories, The Path of Destinies.
Yeah.
It's not the best name, but
Battle Chasers Night War, you know.
That's another one where it's like a little bit of word soup. I have not yet moved Moon's thing off the camera because this is what Moon looks like right now. Look, Skype problems, man. God, Skype, get your poops together. Next news story, we're finally finishing the saga we have been talking about for years at this point. Vivendi has sold off its final Ubisoft shares.
Yay!
Ubisoft has removed the yoke of Vivendi. And they are, I was going to say they're free again, but they still have other shareholders. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure a big reason why they managed to avoid this was because didn't they take a big chunk of change from Tencent as well?
I feel like everybody lately has. Like Bungie has, Blizzard's working with them.
Yeah.
Activision probably is.
Because I know there's talk about Siege hitting the China market soon, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, that was the source of a lot of controversy a couple months ago.
Yep.
That we didn't really report on because it sounded like that was going to get reversed really quickly, and it did.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da. Let's talk about E3 2019. EA is not going to be there.
No, let's not. Moving on.
Yep. EA is the next in line to say, we're not going to have a press conference there. Sorry. See you later.
Did they have a press conference, or did they just have the EA Play experience?
They did
they kind
both
of did a
last
press
year.
Conference.
Yeah, they sort of had one of those. Really, don't that dude in the shiny suits came out. The guy who looks like a Bond villain came out on stage and talked about. Oh no, that was the one where the who was it? The kid came up. First of all, it was the CNC Mobile one, Command Conquer Mobile one.
I remember that one.
But there was also that kid that was like a pro gamer, and he was just like a total D-bag on stage.
The one who, he won the NFL, I think it was.
The Madden something.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they haven't done a proper press conference in years. Let's not shake bones about it.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, it's interesting to see another company pull out of this and then say, "Hey, we're going to do EA Play again at the same time, so come see us."
So they're basically taking the one step that they needed to take. They had the press conference slot and everything, but wasn't their press conference held at the EA Play event?
I think it was, yeah. Like the EA Play stage.
Yeah, so their biggest difference is now they're just not going to be dealing with whatever that company, the Nightmare company is called, that runs all of this stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. It was a matter of time for EA.
And I'm sure that they'll still have a stage, like a show floor presence.
I would be surprised if they don't.
Yeah, and it seems more like everyone is just going to have this sort of floor presence, and then they'll all do their own Nintendo Direct sort of thing, landing at the same time the show does.
Make the most, because the news media is still going to be there. The mainstream, the hashtag mainstream media is still going to show up because they still know what E3 is.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably not aware that Sony isn't going to be there. They're not aware that EA has decided not to do their press conference this year.
Right.
Because as far as they're concerned, EA is still there because they'll still have the stupid Play event on.
It's the biggest day of the year for gamers this year, and one company didn't show up.
I'm waiting for that story to be told.
Yeah. And last but not least, we've got more and more rumors swirling that look like the Xbox One S without a disc is going to be coming this spring for $200.
That needs to lose $100 off that price tag.
Yeah, I feel like $200 during holiday season is probably an easy buy.
No, they need to lose $100 off that price tag. I like the PlayStation exclusives. Sony gonna Sony. They've made some bad moves these past couple of years. How much is the PlayStation 4 now? The Pro, let's say.
The Pro, I don't know. Let's look. Amazon PS4 Pro. It's a good question. I actually don't know. It is $400.
Okay, and the X is still retailing at $500. I'm guessing. PlayStation 4 regular is probably going to be retailing at about maybe $3.
Xbox One X is $400 for a special bundle.
The Fallout 76 bundle.
That's one of them. If you'd like to buy one, yeah.
Okay, so
PS4 Slim is $300.
Okay, and the S is probably around about $300 as well. The current S.
Probably.
You're going all digital. So you're going to depend on Amazon to sell this. GameStop ain't going to carry any of them. If they do, you're lucky. GameStop might actually, because it's GameStop and they're struggling at the moment. But if they drop this for $200, it's a smart decision. If they drop it for $150 to $100, it's a killer decision. Because then you're taking out your nearest competitor by $200. You're forcing Sony to make a move. that they wouldn't be forced to make otherwise.
Yeah, but I think when you look at the streaming only Xbox One, I think that's the price point for that. I think
you think the streaming goes 100, digital 200?
Yeah, because I think when it's streaming, it's just like, look, here's a set-top box, has none of the Xbox hardware in it. You know, it's not the full experience. When you look at the download on the diskless S, then I think you're looking at like, look, you don't have to buy discs, you don't have to pop it in, like you're all good. It's still an Xbox One. It's just you don't put anything in it. You know, that sort of marketing.
Yeah, that's true. Fire Stick retails at $40.
What's that?
A Fire Stick goes at 40 to 50, depending on which Amazon Fire Stick you're interested in.
Right.
So yeah, that plus the price of a controller thrown in, that's like 40, $50.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 100 would be right for the streamer one. Yeah, you might be right. I think they should go 150 then for the digital only one though.
Yeah, and I think the hard part is you look at a lot of these Xbox One S bundles, they're like $250. So for 50 more bucks, you can get a game or a couple of games, maybe Xbox Live for a couple of months. You can buy used games and toss them in your thing. So I think if it's at the $200 price, that's a solid price, especially for the holidays. But they need to communicate, I think, to John Q. Street Fighter fan about why
digital only.
Yeah, like why this is the one you want to buy versus the X or the S or the streaming one or
yeah. And whatever. May we also recommend that you take a glance at Game Pass, which is a digital download service available from Microsoft for only $10 a month.
Yeah. I feel like if the streaming one doesn't come with some amount of time for a trial for like a card in the thing that tells you where to get Game Pass, that's
the digital one. You know, it has to.
It has to. If not, like you've missed your largest opportunity.
Well, we frequently talk about how much we believe Game Pass is a solid deal. It's a solid amount to pay for the service that you are currently being offered. Let me give you some real world talk here. Hashtag real talk. True story. My wife works with a very young child of 16. I say child because they're 16. So as far as I'm concerned, they're a kid. You're 21, you're still a kid.
Right.
That get out of my yawn, etc., etc.
Rabble.
They just got an Xbox.
Okay.
They don't know what games they like.
Okay.
They were asking for recommendations about what to buy to my wife, who, just like me, plays a whole bunch of video games. Right. My wife's recommendation was, get Game Pass.
That's a great
You're a 16-year-old kid. You're working a job for, I'm assuming, minimum wage. Game Pass is affordable, and it gives you a variety to get your teeth into to figure out what you like and what you don't like.
That's a good point.
2 weeks later, guess what? Kid loves Game Pass.
Right.
It's $10. They can play a whole bunch of games that they love.
Yep.
They can find out what they like and what they don't like. It's a really great taster menu.
Ah, that's right.
So, again, folks, Game Pass is a solid deal.
Yeah.
I know you might want to buy games outright. That's fine. Do you. Game Pass is a good backup option.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on to questions here. T-Bomb Rocks asked a question. Throughout 2019, So he's asking, throughout 2019, what are the chances the following studios will be acquired by Xbox? First one is IO Interactive.
No. They've just made a big deal with Warner Brothers. I think they're okay for a while.
Yeah, to me that seems, I'd say like 20%. But Microsoft could still scoop them up, but I think the amount of money it would take Microsoft to pull them away from Weeby would probably be too much.
Yeah.
Turtle
20
Rock
is about right. Does Turtle Rock exist anymore?
I think they're working on their next thing. Once they said they were done with Evolve, they said, all right, we're putting this thing to bed. You guys don't want to play it anymore. We are working on our next thing. I'm going to
put them as 10% if we'll continue this percentages if it's okay with you, but
sure.
I'll knock them at 10% because at the end of the day, they haven't made anything worthwhile recently.
I would say that would be an 80% from me. because I think if you can give Turtle Rock money and you can give them somebody from a high level game design mentorship standpoint, I think Turtle Rock probably has 15 great ideas for games. You have somebody from Xbox Game Studios to try and take some of these ideas to get to the point where they can become more firm and sort of start building.
You want a closer in there.
Yeah, and I think you can have someone who's been in the industry forever drive them to a successful game built on their strong benefits. I think you could make a winner there, but from Microsoft's standpoint, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is all that work worth? It's definitely worth a new Left 4 Dead quality game, but it's not. It might not be worth chancing on getting another Evolve.
Honestly, I think if they had made a really good game that had come out in the past, I'm loath to say this, 10 years, they would be right up there.
Right.
Unfortunately, since Left 4 Dead 1, they put out the DLC for Left 4 Dead 2.
Yep.
They put out the DLC for Left 4 Dead 1, the Sacrifice DLC, and they put out Evolve. That is it. They have
not put
any other game out.
Because Evolve was clearly one of those games where it's like, all right, we're going to have multiple season passes. We're going to do the thing that Rainbow Six Siege figured out, which is we're going to keep supporting this game over the real long haul. But it just never came together for them.
Honestly, if they can get them for a steal, which you will probably be able to buy Turtle Rock for these days. No offense, Turtle Rock.
I don't know
if they can get them for a steal. It's private.
Private. Okay. Interesting.
So it is owned by people. It's not owned by a corporation. So if they can get them for a steal, then they might pick them up. But I love Turtle Rock. I don't think they have the legacy needed to make it a purchase.
Yeah, I agree. What's the next one here? Typhoon. This is the one I had to look up. They are launching a game this year called Journey to the Savage Planet. You can find more at savageplanetgame.com. I honestly don't know anything about this game. I just watched the trailer and I feel like I still don't entirely know.
The game was announced at 2018's Game Awards.
Oh, okay.
The big thing for this is former EA and Ubisoft employees. This is a small studio formed by former EA and Ubi guys. Okay. Alex Hutchinson is one of the co-founders. He's the director of Far Cry 4.
Okay. All right, so there's some promise there.
Yeah, 27 employees. Yeah. They might pick them up, but let's see what they got first, I think is what it might be a case of.
Yeah, I almost feel like with how Xbox is building their stable right now, they might have scooped up Typhoon 2 years ago when they started the studio. But now that they're coming out with a game, it's probably better to say, all right, we're going to wait. We're going to see what they come out with. If it's a real super hit, then maybe that's the right time to buy them.
Yeah, or even if it shows potential, like the stupid... the two studios who've only made one game, really, the State of Decay people and the Mask game people. Those are... I can't remember what it's called. We Happy Few, the people who made that game. Right. That's two studios with distinctive styles and flavors to their games. So let's see what they've got first. So I'm going to put them at 10%.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that seems pretty unlikely. Next one is Housemarque, which is a game I haven't heard of in a while. Or a studio I haven't heard of in a while.
Rings a bell.
Super Stardust. Let's look at some of the other stuff they've come out with lately. They have a beta open right now. Looking at their site, Resogun, Alien Nation, which is an okay hit for them. Nex Machina came out 2017, but that was the game that made them stop making the games they currently make.
Yeah, isn't this the same people who came out and said it's pointless making console games because we don't make our money anymore?
No, they said it's pointless for us to keep making arcade games because nobody's buying them anymore. Like Resogun and all those games are very much like traditional arcade games.
Yeah.
But no one wants those anymore, which is sort of a bummer.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty unlikely of a purchase because I don't know what their strengths are now.
Yeah, and to be honest, they have a very good relationship with Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Look at their published games list.
Yep.
The majority of their publishers is Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Yep. PS3, PS4 exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this is another one of those small studios that the stuff they've come out with hasn't been so huge to scoop them up, but it might be big enough to try and court them to maybe do an exclusivity deal on your platform.
Yeah, do what they did with Insomniac and what's that game called?
It's just on the tip of my tongue. Sunset Overdrive.
That's the one. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's more like, it's like, look, we don't want to own you. You don't want us to buy you. But we do want your game.
Yeah.
And lastly on his list, Blue Point. This is an interesting one. I'm firing this up here to see what they have done other than remastering stuff. And it's all remastering stuff. I would say that's almost a 0% because I feel like from Bluepoint's standpoint, you wouldn't want to just remaster stuff for one platform.
True, but if you have a solid studio that's really good at remastering stuff, and you're in the process of trying to build a next generation platform that, I don't know, maybe you want 2 generations worth of backwards compatibility included in there, they might be the studio to pick up to handle all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the thing for me this would be an easy question. I think if Microsoft wasn't doing their cloud-based and their streaming stuff, that is like the worst kept secret right now, Bluepoint would be an easy purchase to say, take Gears of War 5, put it on Switch. Just figure it out. I don't care how it happens.
Yeah.
But I think when you look at their cloud-based stuff, you work with your already existing BFF, Nintendo, and you say, hey, we've got this streaming stuff. Just have people stream Gears 5 to their Switch, and it looks the same as it does on your Xbox One. So I think at that point, someone like Bluepoint, who's a great company and they've done incredible work.
Do you think they might be going redundant with the times?
Not necessarily, but I think with what Microsoft is probably going to push heavily on the streaming side, that might not be a good fit for Microsoft right now. Yeah. But I'm sure that there's still, Sony obviously still will. People will still want to bring Wii U stuff up to the Switch or bring Switch stuff to other platforms. That's where Bluepoint is really strong.
Yeah, make a Mario Odyssey for the Xbox One X, please. Thank you.
Breath
of the Wild, 4K HDR, yes, please.
I just want more people to play Breath of the Wild because it's really good.
I want to buy it, but it's still full price.
Yeah, that's the worst part is Nintendo games are always full price, forever.
Yep. Like, we have a Switch in this house now. I've played a couple of rounds of Tetris 99. Yeah. I have not touched it otherwise because it's like, I kind of want to play Breath of the Wild, but it's still $60.
Yeah. Grr. A Skewed One says, not a question per se, but I think the other VR rhythm game you meant to name is Beat Saber, not Beat Hazard. Yes, thank you. Beat Hazard is the non-VR rhythm game. Beat Saber is the... I should have remembered Beat Saber is the VR one because it looks like you're holding lightsabers.
Yep. And didn't they get in trouble for calling them lightsabers until they had to patch out that description in the game?
Probably. Yeah, that seems like one dude made a VR game and just called it lightsabers, and then it got really big, and Lucas was like, hey man, Disney, sorry, was like, hey man, come on. You know you can't do this.
Here's a C&D for your template. Now let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah.
Name change, please.
Last question here is from Oddball in Discord. It says, I play almost any kind of game genre. RPGs like Final Fantasy VII, but I never play them till the end because I don't like the round-based fighting system or the random fight encounters. But now I found an RPG that I really like, Ni no Kuni 2. I like the fighting system, base building, side quests, and how I move over the map is really my kind of style. Which other RPGs has a similar fighting system that I could really like? Of course, I would really appreciate some kind of side quest system or techniques like the city building in Ni no Kuni 2.
Okay, before JRPG Master jumps in on the question here, you can help me fill in this one. I don't know what the combat is, but if you want some really good in-depth building stuff in your game, go play Dark Cloud 1 and 2.
That was the recommendation from Monkey Senior. Was I wouldn't recommend Dark Cloud 1 as much because it has not aged well. Dark Cloud 2 has a PS4 version. Oddball is located in the UK, so it's called Dark Chronicle, which it was fun remembering that. So Dark Cloud 2 got a remaster on PS4. It's like $15, I think, which is a steal for the amount of content that game has in it. 1080p, 60 frames.
And the game looks, well, the art style at the time, at least, was amazing. So
yeah, probably still holds
interesting
up.
to see how it looks now. And my other suggestion, if you like the combat system, it has side quests and the story is completely bonkers.
Yep.
Give Eternal Sonata a try.
Yeah, Eternal Sonata is crazy. Yeah.
It has a action-based combat system. It doesn't have the base building, unfortunately, but the combat is all action-based and movement-based, and there's a whole light and darkness thing going on during combat, which is really cool. And it has one of the craziest stories ever because it's essentially the dreamland of a dying man.
Yeah, Chopin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and not to mention, it's very much Viva Pinata-esque in the fact that it is bright colors, it's gorgeous, the art style is amazing in it, and that is one of those HD games that really speaks volumes for HD.
Yeah, that's a good recommendation. My recommendation actually was the recently released Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. There are a lot of Tales games out there, but I feel like Vesperia is probably the best intro. It has the Limbs system, which is basically their real-time quasi-fighting game battle system, which I think works really well in that one, and it lays the groundwork for it getting a little more complicated and complex in further sort of later games. What's
Sorry, I'm just laughing because when you said there are a lot of Tales games, I immediately thought of the Rifleman's Creed. There are a lot of Tales games, but this is my Tales game. Yes. I will love it like a Tales game.
Tales of Vesperia is my Tales game. The Definitive Edition version is really good. It came out on everything. Came out on Switch too, so it's PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. So if you have one of those consoles or a PC, it came out there, and that would be the one I would recommend. I think Dark Cloud 2 / Dark Chronicle and Tales of Vesperia are probably the most like Ni no Kuni 2. Especially Dark Cloud has that city building and has a cool golf game where you play it in the dungeons you were just exploring in. That game is so good.
They are older games. That's the only thing worth mentioning is like you're talking Dark Cloud 1 was what, like 99, 2000?
Early PS2.
Like and so they may not have aged as well.
Sure.
Eternal Sonata was early 360, so be prepared for going back for that, but those games are masterpieces in their own right.
Yeah. I wish I could recommend Ni no Kuni 1 as much as I could 2, but 1 just rough in a lot of areas, and it just never really came together like 2 did.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because that same studio made Dark Cloud 1 and 2.
Yep.
All right, that's our episode this week. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Game Club. It's the last week of Game Club. We're playing Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which is like 2 or 3 hours long, so you still have plenty of time. Patreon. Patreon, if you're a patron, you can go vote on the next game. There's a very clear winner right now, but you can still cast your vote, don't worry. Your vote matters. Don't forget, join patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers. I forgot to put the URL in there. Help us fund the show, help you get some really cool behind the scenes and extra episodes, and early access. Old Dog New Flicks, we'll be having an episode of that coming out in a couple of weeks here at the end of the month. The final episode of Season 2 for Dynamic Soundtrack will be coming out at the beginning of next month as well. And I'll figure out what to do on the in-between for all you DST fans just on Patreon. I think that's it. Go join the Discord server, discord.me/TVGP, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
I hope you guys can't hear that vacuum in the background.
I can't hear it.
Okay.
Well, I can hear this thing.
Rattle, rattle, rattle.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I got like 4 titles, dude.
Yeah, I have 5, but like I feel like we didn't have a lot this week.
No, because we're both dead on our feet because it's one of those weeks.
It's true.
I almost swore again. The show is not over until I hit stop. The show is not over until I hit stop. The show is not over until I hit stop.
I feel like you need a label maker and just put that on your monitor.
Yeah. Well, I've just realized now I've moved your camera, like the Skype window, because it does the weird half screen, so I don't click onto Skype anymore. But I have like the preview window right underneath my actual camera, so when I'm looking at you, I'm looking towards the camera, which should help a little bit. Yeah. And maybe I can put a note between the two saying the show isn't over until I hit
just
stop.
Open up Notepad.
Yeah.
All right, hit me with your titles.
The Cold is Real. My personal vote for this week is Use Them or Infuse Them.
Oh, that's so good.
2.5 games later, and Get Out of My Yarn, because I meant to say yard and said yarn by accident.
Use Them or Infuse Them is really good. Get Out of My Yard/yarn. Get Out of My Yarn is good too. I really like Use Them or Infuse Them.
Honestly, the second you said that, I was like, well, we've got a show title.
I'll circle it. That's an easy one this week. I like it. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 594 from March 11th, 2019. Use them or infuse them.
Get that light level.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for watching us live this week. We always appreciate it, and we love you.
Yeah, and I hope daylight saving times haven't messed with you too much.
Yeah, I feel like that's maybe why not a lot of people are on this week. They're like, oh, God, it's TV. Oh, no, we missed it. Oh. Yeah. All right, see you guys next week. Bye.